Hello, everybody. Welcome to Concentrated Actions, Rise of the Star Lords, episode 30, Outward Bound. Last week, sorry about the knife. Last week, when we left off, our heroes managed to break Justice Ironbriar's cipher, and the curse on Ava. Far more importantly, after some serious discussion amongst each other, they leveled up to 8. And then they did some purchasing, and then the glitch gremlins attacked me and only me. And then my unconscious body was thrown in a closet. But I'm here to say I got out. I managed to go through the ventilation, climb back into the corridor, and I retook control of the ship.
We're proud of you, Jet.
It was a beautiful dream, though. The mutiny. It was such a good mutiny.
And before we get to anything else, I have this brown, unassuming box. It's a belated birthday present from Shades, and they requested that I open it on air, so here it goes.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
I'm pretty sure I know
What's in the box? What's in the box?
Oh, whoa! Extra stuff that I was not expecting. There is Rise of the Rune Lords.
Isn't that what a
dice.
gift is? Ooh.
And there is a Skittermander pin. And the thing that I knew about ahead of time, actually, is the Skittermander dice bag.
Aww.
I'm naming him after my Skittermander character from my Play by Discord. This guy is going to be Scooter.
Scooter.
Oh.
Scooter. I love that.
My Skittermander soldier who has so many weapons and so many hands to hold them.
I mean, nice. You have 6 hands. You might as well have at least 6 weapons.
At this point in time, he has lethal fists. He has a diamagnetic storm hammer occupying 2 of those lethal fists, and then his remaining 4 fists are occupied by a flash dazzler and an auto target rifle.
Respectable. Heck yeah.
But thank you so much, Shades. I love it. It's fantastic. I'm going to very much appreciate it. And we now have to get into this week's icebreaker, courtesy of you, Shades. What does your character bring to game night? Ava?
Oh gosh. Ava brings Cheetos. Just Cheetos. Very modest offering in hopes that she can make up for bringing, stuff like goblin ears and stuff the last couple of months.
Nice.
It's a start, Ava. It's a start.
We'll get there. We'll get
These
there.
Cheetos are an acceptable offering.
Cheetos peace offering. What about Jacinto?
And for Tom, of course, garden salsa, sun chips.
Oh no, Jacinto's a big board game nerd like Tom is. So Jacinto is the one who actually brings the board games to game night. So he brings Photosynthesis, which is a really cool board game that is about trees and growing trees and collecting sunlight, and it's a wonderful, beautiful game. He brings Everdell because it's also very nature themed. And he also brings
the Sandpoint edition of Settlers of Catan.
Yes, Settlers of Sandpoint. Yeah. It's like Monopoly, right? Where like eventually there's going to be an XYZ version of every of Catan for every place. Like, Yankees Monopoly, Buffalo Bills Monopoly. These are monopolies that my family has owned.
I mean the upside though is Jacinto probably just has to bring like a little hollow emitter like the size of a 6-sided die, and then you put that on the table and then the board is displayed above that in 3 dimensions.
Oh, be still my beating heart. Oh God.
Right? What about Finn? What's Finn bringing to game night?
Finn is not into like the super nerdy games. Finn would probably bring a deck of cards and some hard liquor and try to talk everyone into doing King's Cup.
All right.
King's Cup.
What about Lahan?
Lahan brings all the mixers because she knows everyone else is going to forget them, and board games that are way too complicated that nobody ever wants to play.
Yeah, see, I like
Oh,
complicated board
yeah.
games. I can't see Finn playing Dead of Winter though.
Yeah,
I can't
no,
imagine it.
Lahan, much like me, will bring Dead of Winter every time, and everyone will be like, no, that game is too long and complicated, and we don't want to play with you.
They'll
That's
just
like
look
me
at
with
it
too many
sort of
games.
I feel like
longingly,
probably
but
the I feel like
understand
people would
that
want to
they
play with
cannot.
you.
Yeah, Jacinto would definitely be into. He's a big board game nerd.
Yeah,
so.
but see, we'd never convince Finn to play, so we'd have to do the simpler
No.
ones, you know.
Yeah.
We'd have to like settle in the
Alright.
middle and play whatever the equivalent Starfinder equivalent of Red Dragon Inn is.
This
Can we
is a
dive
great
on that?
example of int versus wisdom, right? Intelligence versus wisdom. Intelligence is liking complicated board games and bringing them to every game night. Wisdom is is knowing that you shouldn't bring the really, really complicated games that you do like to every board game night.
Yep.
It's hilarious
This is-
because I've got a 10 in intelligence and an 8 in wisdom.
Nice. So I believe where we left off pre-mutiny was you guys were doing a little bit of a shopping spree and you were doing your level up. So we'll probably wow, we've got a screensaver over Nick.
Oh yes, so I have fun new medical issues. I mean, I have to stop and eat, so I gave myself a little.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, sorry, that just surprised me.
Sorry, I didn't tell you. I told everyone else.
I didn't
No,
know about it
it's-
either. It shocked me.
It is.
so.
It is pretty
100%
cool.
It looks neat, and yeah, you do you. So I think we're come back in probably post shopping spree. Did you guys get anything super interesting? Because I kind of missed that.
Yeah. I think we might have talked about it at the tail end of your before you were assaulted by glitch gremlins. But
I
I
think
got
Ava
remember I
got
got the really
shuriken?
cool.
I know
Yeah,
what's
you got-
working. It was
Yeah.
something else, a big weapon, I thought. I found it in a back alley and it was kind of sketchy, and we magic tested it.
I think it was the shuriken, right? Leif,
Leif, you're muted.
you're muted.
Yeah. Ava picked up some new shurikens. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure my sheets all reflect one another.
Of course.
100%. Totally cool. And you leveled up, and I know we talked a little bit about that, but it's been 2 weeks, and I was fighting my computer. So you guys are I believe you guys were getting ready to depart and head. Where were you heading? You guys had a clue leading you somewhere.
That's a great question, Jet. And we're gonna tell you. We're gonna tell you where we're heading.
Turtleback Ferry.
Oh boy, and it's a place.
It's Turtleback Ferry.
That's the one. Turtleback Ferry. Yes. And why were we heading there again? Because the cult. That's right. Yes, the cult. Because we're gonna help Finn root out the bad elements of the. Well, I say bad elements.
I
don't know.
I think it was because
It's
of this
cult busting.
message that was
Is that
just
what
said.
you're
The
This
more
message that you
bad
found.
elements.
Yeah. This
Yes, the
from
worst
someone.
elements.
You fought a Lamia, by the name of Zanesha. You found a message on her datapad, and it implied that their sister was doing something in a place called Turtleback Ferry, and that they were also gathering the souls of those that were deemed greedy. So you're getting ready to
Right.
leave. You're buying supplies. You're getting ready to plot your course and leave. Lahan's probably said her goodbyes to her brother, and you're, doing your checklist, getting ready to depart. And you have to get permission to depart the station. And when you submit your request, it is denied. And shortly thereafter, you have an incoming transmission.
Finn? Someone's trying to hail us.
Oh, I'm gonna open the channel. Who
Um,
do we see?
You see this individual. They should be popping up on your screen. It is a a well dressed Lashunta, and based on your digging around, like Finn would recognize this person instantly. This is Lord Commander Haldmir Grobar. They're the one that is in charge of Magnimar
Okay.
Station. They're not known for being a super involved or effective leader. They basically have set things in motion to coast, and the bureaucratic underlings are supposed to just keep Magnimar going by just inertia, effectively.
Okay.
They are not, they're not super well loved, and they're very much all they really care. Think like landed like lords and ladies in like Britain who think that they're above the rules, but he's using the rules for his own benefit. But he's not like super bad. He just wants to live a very, very decadent lifestyle, and he doesn't really care about the common folk so much, but he also doesn't actively try and hurt the common folk.
Okay.
And their face pops up on the screen, and they're like, "I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to leave quite yet. I have guard coming. They will probably be there in the next few minutes. I recommend you stay, and unless we come to some sort of an agreement. We have footage of you entering the processing plant where we found the dead body of Lord Justice Ironbriar, um, as well as a number of other individuals that are employed by the processing plant. Two of those individuals were in outrageous outfits, wearing masks of some sort, and we found framed decorative faces, quite distasteful, on the walls. Um, it lo- you're the only ones that entered, and then you're the only ones that left, and then a couple days later, someone discovered the bodies. So obviously, you had something to do with their deaths, and something needs to be done because a lord, the justice was killed. Um, I need you to tell me what happened there. We have some information implying some things, but I am reluctant to believe it.
I think I'm going to let my engineer handle this. My Jacinto, come here.
Huh? What?
It's gonna make
Okay.
us explain it.
Great. Jacinto readily steps up and says, so yes, I admit that this looks pretty bad. Uh, with
It does.
footage. Yes.
You have a couple things in your
However,
favor, though. You do have a couple things in your favor. I just want to point that out. And he's talking over you intentionally. Like he wants to hear what you have to say, but at the same time, whenever he starts talking, he expects everyone to stop and listen. We do know of you, facial recognition. We've gotten word from Sandpoint over the past month or so. They've had nothing but glowing words, praises for you. They think you're heroes. They've talked you up quite a bit. So I'm very very confused as to why you heroes left Sandpoint, where you were celebrated, came here and murdered about a dozen folks.
well, that would be on account of the fact that they were all in a terrible murder cult. That was, as might be evidenced of the horrible things that we found in their offices. They were killing people and turning their skin into masks, and we have reason to believe that they're using the inherent greed, yes, greed,
They
Yes.
also tried to
they're
kill
using
us
the
specifically.
His eyes
Well-
narrow when you emphasize greed.
Yeah, the inherent greed. That was Tom emphasizing it for to confirm that was actually the sin that we were on currently. But
Yes.
yes, so we were yes, they seem to be using the greed for some nefarious purpose. So we have letters and things that we can help confirm. But it might also interest you to note that we sent in that anonymous tip that you got 3 days ago. And if you don't, if that's not enough to believe us, then I don't know what is, because we know that you got an anonymous tip 3 days ago. So I would say that this doesn't look very good for you, if I'm honest, with your justice being part of a murder cult.
When you say that little bit, his eyes go down to slits. He's like, yes, all right. So you're implying that you were the anonymous individual sending us that data.
So Finn's
Yep.
gonna nudge Jacinto. Jacinto, didn't we find the Lord Commander's name in one of those letters as well?
Oh yeah, we
Yeah,
definitely did.
would you have forwarded that letter, or would you have just forwarded like
Didn't.
the other records?
And this is why
Didn't we
we
find
made
this-
anonymous, because we thought it went all the way to the top. We were worried that they're corrupt.
Didn't we find this letter after we sent that tip in? Because we found this letter on Zanisha's body, right?
You found the letter on Zanisha's body, but you didn't crack the cipher to send the tip until after you defeated Zanisha.
Got it. Okay.
So I don't know if you would have
Well-
also sent in that letter, or if that was just something you were going to hold on to because it was relevant to you.
We had sent in a tip like right after the processing plant too, because we did a lot of murdering, but we didn't really want to like call the police because we didn't want to get arrested because we're worried everybody is corrupt.
Wait, I thought we waited. We were gonna wait until we were ready to leave so that they didn't find the bodies and do exactly this.
Might have been what we decided on.
But the
I don't
problem
know.
is they found the bodies and they're doing this. So, and we were about to leave. Oh, you're saying that you think that we wouldn't have sent the tip before we left.
Well, I apologize if that was your intention.
Well, we intended to
We're
send it
here.
right as we were getting ready to leave, so that there wouldn't be time for them to get the bodies before we.
Well, I must have completely overwrote that in my brain due to frustration with my computer. I apologize. Would you like to continue rolling with this, or would you like to just be like, nope, that never happened?
I mean, they could have found the bodies on their own for some random reason.
They could have, yeah, that's fine. Also,
Yeah,
he said
yeah,
they found
they're
the
saying-
masks on the wall, but we took those down and took them to the temple.
We did actually.
Those were not masks. Those were just decorative faces that were made of faces.
You know, decorative faces. Just like Martha Stewart taught us to make.
The masks that you took were on the cultists. I don't know if you took also the framed
Yes.
faces.
I don't remember if we did or not.
I didn't think you did. Again, I know you took the masks.
Yeah, no, then let's say we didn't. We already consolidated our loot. What happened happened.
I didn't see the
So-
faces on the list. I saw the masks
Yeah, it's so
made of
big.
faces.
I didn't either. Yeah. So, yes. So yeah, I had just laid a smackdown on this Lord Commander for his justice being part of a murder cult.
How and Finn did say, hey, wasn't his name mentioned in something? So did you think you would have sent a copy
that's
of
right.
to him? No. So Finn brings
Uh,
that up. He's like, what do you mean my name was mentioned? I didn't see any of that in the information that was sent to us.
Jacinto sends a small sidelong glance at Finn.
Well, here, let me field this one. We hadn't forwarded any information to you or your police force as of yet because we were worried that the corruption might go all the way up to the top, seeing as we found mentions of your name in papers and there was a justice involved in the cult. We wanted to make sure that we were safe before passing on information. You can understand why we might be concerned.
That does make sense. I didn't see my name mentioned in any of the data. If you could forward that to me, I would like to look at that.
What
I would very-
reassurance can you give us that you're not in on all of this?
I mean, I feel like he's just Yeah, no, I mean he's getting it. Yes, no, I would never be caught in anything like that. That'd be so gauche. But again, could I get a copy of the data that actually mentions me specifically?
Lahan, go ahead and send it over to him.
And
We're getting Bud Stubble is saying that Nick is muted.
There we go.
Lahan,
For our
you-
listeners, Lahan just sort of like subtly like reminded him that like he's not talking to plebs. He is dealing
Yes.
with another aristocrat. She's been to a few of these high society parties.
100%. And should you send that data, the mention, and I believe the data that mentioned him specifically was also the one that mentioned Turtleback Ferry. And if you send that to him, his eyes will go wide. And he'll be like, I believe we can come to an arrangement that's mutually beneficial. This document here mentions that I was a target, and I'm seeing as how the people that were targeting me are no more, and that is due to your actions. I appreciate that. But I also have to protect the reputation of the bureaucracy. I don't want Ironbriar outed. So, and I don't want to encourage vigilantism. So, I'm going to officially punish you and exile you for a period of time, not indefinitely, to a place called Turtleback Ferry. Because this document here mentions it as a location of other possible threats to me specifically. And also, there's just recently been a request for aid. The Black Arrows have gone silent, and Turtleback Ferry has recently been noticed people missing. There's been reports of a starship just going down. It looks to have been scuttled. We don't know why. People can't get super close to it very easily. It's in an asteroid field. I would appreciate it if you would look into this. As recompense for you going along with this, we will give you the supplies necessary to perform some. And he looks at like a holographic representation of the Heartbreaker. Some much needed upgrades on your ship, and you can hear the quotes around ship.
Lahan glares
What
at the
is
video
this
screen.
period of time that you're going to be exiling us for? I have family here on Magnimar, and I don't want to be unable to check in on them.
Let's say 3 months. And if you just stare that hard, all right, let's say 1 month.
That's acceptable.
Man, Solarians are good at negotiating. They just have to glare.
Well, also to be fair, you have access to the data that will completely ruin the justice's reputation and throw a wrench in everything he's trying to say.
That's the thing. Jacinto's gonna, put up.
Also, does the Lord Commander like fresh fish? Because he could just
leafy.
never have any ever again. We could make that happen.
concerning fish.
Does
you
he
have
like
no
fish that aren't grown in vats?
He just squints at
Um,
you. There needs to be the appearance of punishment. I feel a month is satisfactory, especially when I am upgrading your ship. And again, every time he says ship in reference to the Heartbreaker, you can hear the quotes around it.
I'm sure your offer is very generous. But I would remind you, Lord Commander, that while I might not be some aristocrat or a high society, highfalutin, who's a what's it, I do I do know some things about people, and I know that your people will respect you a lot more if you're honest with them about these kinds of things, especially when rumors abound of politicians being corrupt all the time. And for a politician to out another politician, post mortem or otherwise, that might deflect some blame from yourself and some doubt that people might have of you.
No one should have any doubts about me. I'm more worried with a lack of faith in our justice system. We can't have people disregarding the law.
When the law is flawed, you need to correct it.
You already have people
So
disregarding the
all
law.
I'm saying is that it might be a good idea to, yes, it might be a good idea to just not sit on this secret and trust that the justice will prevail.
I'll consider this, but regardless of that, I need to at least appear to discourage vigilantes. So
Sure, it's a dangerous career. Not everybody's up to it.
yes. My men should be there shortly, and assuming you agree, I should have the components for upgrades there within 30 minutes or so.
All right. Okay. If there isn't anything else, I think we're done here. We'll go to this this Turtleback Ferry.
But I've ended
Excellent.
communication before he has a chance to say goodbye and without saying goodbye to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fine. Power move, shutting off communications.
Yeah. Oh, so Jacinto turns to Lahan. So we should definitely just leak that information eventually on Justice Ironbriar. Eventually or sooner. It could be anonymous. But I don't like his kind.
Me either.
I'm just waiting for someone to say,
we
you
could
are
use the
his kind.
information- Alternatively, we could sit on that information and use it to our advantage later. I mean, he could be a useful guy to have dirt on.
Yeah, but then that's difficult because then that sort of makes us know better than him, right? To do this kind of thing.
I mean, and justify the means. As long as we're doing good, does it really matter how we're doing good?
Yes, I think it does. But yeah,
Well, it's just an idea.
yeah, as is mine.
A few minutes later, your brother will message you and he'll be like, hey, security's here? They're demanding access to the hangar. Security officer will come in. They'll just introduce themselves and they'll just be like, yes, our orders have been changed. We're just going to stand by and we'll load the supplies when they get here. About 25, 30 minutes later, the supplies show up. They load them into your holds, and then you can be on your way. And I don't know that a piloting check is necessary to be made in system, because I believe that it's used in conjunction with drift travel, because you could be off target dramatically.
No, you still need to make a piloting check. It's like DC 11 within the system.
Which
it's comically easy, but
Yeah.
there is
Yeah,
still,
I think Lahan makes
a
it
check
automatically.
required, quote unquote.
But while we're waiting, Lahan just wants to like do a quick poke around the infosphere for any I don't know, insurgent groups, freedom fighters, anybody who might want to take down this Lord Commander.
A political rival because he is an elected official. Oh yeah, you find a bunch of politicians that don't like him.
I
That
picked the
align with
most.
your political views.
I picked the
That's a
most
41
ethical
computers
one. Yes, the 41 computers check. Lahan's just like digging up dirt on like everyone and finds somebody who's like super ethical that she thinks would be good to be in charge of the city, and just sends them all the data that we have. Just a copy.
All right.
Then they can black.
Yeah. Well, if they're super ethical, they're probably not going to blackmail.
I love it.
Nobody ever wants good blackmail anymore.
Well, now I got to deal with that. That's great. Nice.
I would just like to note that this particular section of the book is, I think, just problematic for exactly this reason. You're dealing with really powerful people in Magnimar, and you have dirt on all of them, which any group of clever players is going to use to muck things up. Which is why you get, if you give a bard a printing press. If you go to our Discord and search if you give a bard a printing press, the whole story's up there. I'm not telling it again.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes. All right. So I believe you do automatically make the check, and I believe in-system travel is what, a D6 plus 2 days? So let's see how
D6
long
plus
you're...
2.
So let's see how long you guys are in transit.
Okay?
Who wants to roll a D6 plus 2?
2.
So 4 days. You got 4 days
Nice.
alone with each other.
Say it like it's a bad thing.
What all do you do?
Jacinto practices with his artificial third eye, sort of using it to like, okay, Lahan, change up the number of fingers that you're holding now.
Okay?
And he gets it every time because he can sense through walls now, and that's pretty cool.
Oh, also, you never did it, but you could use that now to look for cancer in her dad.
Oh, will that work?
I imagine it would. I imagine that you can probably look through in some sort of gradation without just automatically bypassing everything.
What's giving you this ability?
He has an eye that gives him
My
extra
artificial
vision.
third eye here. I'll post it in Discord. Series 3.
I don't think...
You can activate and deactivate your artificial third eye with a move and blah, blah, blah. When activated, an artificial third eye collects X-ray data and relays the information gathered directly to your eyes. You gain sense through vision with a range of 30 feet, though your vision is limited to black and white. So I have X-ray vision now.
X-rays aren't usually used for cancer. Usually you need... Yeah.
You need to get the artificial MRI eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
MRI.
MRI. Yeah. To be fair, I wasn't thinking of it for this reason. I was just playing a mystic who doesn't use his weapons or armor, and so I was like, hey, I got like 20,000 credits. Let me buy this weird thing.
So Jacinto practices using their X-ray for parlor tricks and whatnot. Anyone else do anything? Anyone want to do any downtime activities?
Ava maintains her armor.
Jacinto is gonna discern futures or whatever it is, the one that makes a mysticism check, and then you give one person a reroll on the next day. I think Jacinto's probably pretty focused on Ava's future right now, just sort of like centered around Ava and whatnot, and so he'll like look into he'll peer through with Artania sort of spinning a web in the corner of his room. It's a much bigger web than it used to be for him to, use augury and determine the futures and whatnot. But it's still the same practice. So he reads this spider web.
Nice.
And I'll make
Ava
a
maintains.
mysticism check for that.
You do.
Oh, that's a
you-
nat 1. I gotta look up the rules on that, but I'm pretty sure that's a failure because it's like a scaling DC or something. Ugh, nat 1 for my first roll of the night. That's okay.
That's okay. Does Finn or Lahan do any downtime activities or just do any other actions in the 4 days?
Finn probably does like little free weights, running around, getting used to moving around with his wings, getting bumping into things. You know, I got a big old pair of wings that I haven't had for very long. Need to get used to moving around with them. Probably it's very awkward sleeping with them.
I keep forgetting that you have wings now.
Never
Never
forget.
Lahan will
All right.
research Turtleback Ferry.
You'll research Turtleback Ferry. All right. Well, I can show you the map that I.
Well, for the next week, culture checks to recall knowledge about that topic. The DC of such text is reduced by 2.
Nice.
That's nice.
Nice. So I've moved us to the Turtleback Ferry map, and I want to sort of talk about Turtleback Ferry because I didn't want to just take us to another moon.
Everything's
So I'm
black.
taking us to sort of the remnants of a planetoid that are like chunks of landmass that still have atmosphere and are growing, that are sort of held together, and no one knows how they're sort of held together. So it's like it's an asteroid field, but with still breathable atmosphere and landmass on the pieces that are big enough for it. And like to the south of Turtleback Ferry, you can't see it on the map, but like once you get a little bit further south, there's a lake there. It's just water suspended in space. It's not even ice. There's sort of a, much like in the Pact Worlds book, there's like from this lake, there is even like a river flowing up and winding through the asteroid field.
I can't see
Yeah.
anything on this map that you put us on. It's all black.
yeah.
Because I must have turned on dynamic lighting for some reason. There, that better?
That is
Oh,
better.
there it is. Yep. Very cool.
And if you're digging up info on Turtleback Ferry, I can give you some of the notable locations because there is some information. There is a place called the Turtles Parlor.
Okay.
There it is a it's just an inn. It's place you could stay for the night, bar sort of thing. There's a place called Bottoms Up, which is just a bar. The registered owner of the Turtles Parlor is one Sestin Orlandi, a male human. The registered owners of Bottoms Up are Yads and Berthandi Kesker, a couple of halflings.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, that's those docks listed there. One of those is it's a ferry. It's just like a, think like a traditional ferry that we have, but this one is designed to navigate through the void of space and also this weird floating blob of water to the south of Turtleback Ferry. It takes them to another a place called Pendaka Station. It's just like a transshipment center, like goods and services go in and out of there, very close to Turtleback Ferry.
Okay.
And it's relatively cheap to make use of that. Then there is the only machine shop in Turtleback Ferry. It's called Iron Tooth's Metal Goods. It's owned and registered to one Iron Tooth Jorveni, a middle-aged male half-orc. There's the Turtleback General Store, number 5. It's run by an old maid by the name of Wenda Lee Nee, a middle-aged Trox. Show 2 players. There is,
Twindolini.
yep. There's a church a church dedicated to Talavet in town. It's one of the bigger buildings in town. It is the digging on it. You discover that it's the religious center as well as the town hall. Its pastor is both the spiritual leader and political leader. Their name is Malin Shreed. They are a Ichtikri. There's that. And then there is the Skull Ferry. It's a ferry that allows you to cross the Skull Field. It's a dangerous field, relatively dangerous field of asteroids to the northwest quadrant of Turtleback Ferry. The river that comes off of the lake sort of spirals up and through that, and the ferry will take you to another slightly larger landmass where people have been known to gather natural resources, things of that nature. And you also discover while you're digging up on this, because it's tied kind of to the Skull Ferry, is there are navigation beacons that if you rent or buy or own some form of like small spacecraft, aircraft, not like a full-size spaceship, you can navigate through the field if you follow these beacons, much like a highway or a road. There is also the Turtleback Schoolhouse, run by one Tilia Henkinson, a lady gnome. And then there's the graveyard. And those are all the prominent things in Turtleback Ferry.
All right.
Sounds like a quaint little place. I bet it's going to be lovely. No problems here.
No.
Sure.
They're and again they're poking around a little bit if you're digging up information on them. You also discover the mayor mentioned it offhand that there was a starship that had been scuttled in one of the nearby asteroid fields to the south of town, like on the far side, like out in the lake somewhere. It's assumed that all the guests and all hands went down with the ship. Like they lost signal, and they lost like any sort of transponder signal. Their sensors are picking up a mass that should be the ship, but they're presuming everyone's dead. And that was a pleasure barge by the name of Paradise. It was sort of they do dinner cruises. There's gambling. It's where you could also pay for companionship. It was a tourist destination for people.
Okay.
And that's what you pick up about Turtleback Ferry. Specifically, the only other little thing is that it was under the protection of what is known as the Black Arrows. I don't know if you would you look into the Black Arrows if you found out that they were, especially when the Lord Commander mentioned that they had gone radio silent and they were supposed to be protecting Turtleback Ferry.
Yeah. Do you want to?
Mm-hmm.
Probably culture, I would say.
Okay.
I'm a cultured little plant boy.
It's a 27 plus 2 if it counts as being about Turtleback Ferry.
Yeah, it
Mine
would. It
30.
would kind of fall under that. So 29,
so then 32.
31,
32.
32. Okay. The Order of the Black Arrow. Wow. The Order of the Black Arrow it's a privateer organization that hunts space pirates and hostile aliens around the solar system. It was created decades ago to patrol the Storval Cloud and prevent any pirate incursions from spreading beyond the inner part of the cloud, which is the Orc Cloud. It often recruits criminals who are given the chance between serving in the Black Arrows and a harsh punishment. And in any case, the constant training and dangers they face have made the Black Oils loyal to their order. The order counts from a few loyal members to several dozen, depending on the circumstances. And the commanding officer of the Black Arrows is one Lamatar Baden, and he commands them from Space Fortress Rannoch, named after the founder of the Order of Vea Rannoch. known for her use of the battle bow.
Ah,
Turtleback Ferry is the closest settlement to the coordinates in the asteroid field where Fort Rannick resides for most of the time.
well, Fort Rannick is where the letter mentions this person who signed this letter, holds up the most recent letter with the Siegren rune on it. They mentioned running their experiments there, so that might be a good place for us to start. Yeah?
But so yeah, you do your downtime activities. You dig up that information. And whenever you're ready, I don't know if you have any RP you want to do amongst each other, we can arrive at Turtleback Ferry.
Let's
Alright.
do it.
Cool.
We do that.
Cool. Yep, you do that. You pull in close. You have to navigate pretty carefully to get into Turtleback Ferry. Turtleback Ferry is sort of on the outskirts of this asteroid field. So it's relatively safe. It's sort of coreward of the asteroid field, and you navigate very carefully in. You hail the town, and they give you coordinates to a slip, which would be one of these slips to the south. One of these 5 slips that you see there, and you dock, and you are free to explore Turtleback Ferry, talk to people, do what you will.
Well, I guess we should see if there are any problems. The Lord Commander said something was wrong with the Black Arrows, right? They weren't responding. Am I correct?
Yeah, they'd gone radio silent. They don't communicate super crazy regularly, but there's, like once a week a message, and they haven't heard anything in a while. And the town's even reported that they haven't seen any of them, and they see them somewhat regularly.
Well, I think a good place to start checking would be let's go find the local bar and get a drink and talk to some of the natives. See if we can find any information.
Sure.
Yes, sir. Captain Tight Pants, sir.
It's not that tight.
That's pretty tight to me.
I don't know. I mean,
You hear
ever
that?
since
I
you got
called him
those-
Captain Perfect Hair.
ever since you got those wings, you started wearing tighter pants, Finn. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I hadn't really considered what kind of fitting pants Finn wears, but like tight pants, I could roll with that.
He's a little bit of an emo kid. I can see him wearing like super skinny jeans.
Have his bangs down, covering like half of one of his eyes.
Oh,
He's got,
please.
He's got kind of like a man bun thing going with a shaved bottom half of his head, a little bit longer hair.
Nice, much better.
It's also obnoxiously red.
Yeah,
Bright
to match
red
your
man bun.
obnoxiously red wings. So you found the information on the town. You know where some of these establishments are just based on a map. Like you can pull up your space Google Maps and navigate your way there, or you could just ask the locals. And you can find your way to Bottoms Up. And if you're would you be like looking around, taking in the sights as you're there, or would you just be looking at your map and just walking like as efficiently as possible?
No, we're gonna meander and look at things.
Oh, Lahan's
Meander and
looking
look
at
at
everything. Oh, Lavis, Shades gave you the perfect comeback for any mockery about your tight pants. They're aerodynamic.
This town, you just came from Magnimar Station, completely different from Sandpoint. This takes you back, Lahan. This almost feels like home. It's very reminiscent of Sandpoint. Same kind of similar kinds of construction done. that sort of thing. People are friendly, talking to each other. But as you're walking through town and you're sort of just taking in the sights, I would like for all of you to make perception checks.
It's only a 24 from Jacinto.
Holy crap, I was not expecting you to roll that low.
I
Only
heard that
20.
F failed. You can say it, Jet. I failed a perception check as a mystic.
You did.
But
You did.
shame on you. Shame on your family. Shame on your family's cow.
Yeah.
Jacinto,
And when
not
Leif comes
Antonio,
back,
rather.
yeah, and when Leif comes back, Leif will be able to make a perception check. But yeah, you make it to the bar. Behind the bar, working as a very efficient duo, are presumably Yads and Berthandi, the pair of halfling partners, serving their regulars and some of the like one maybe two tourists. The bar, it does look. It doesn't. It's a little bit of a bigger place. Like it could hold more, and it's just like it's basically just regulars with just one or two tourists, and
What time of day is it?
I'd say probably like 2-3 o'clock.
Okay, so it's like midday. What do you say?
Yeah,
Work day.
but
Is it
and when I
work
say
day?
bar, I'm also thinking like small town. I've been watching a lot of Midsummer Murders. I'm thinking like pub style bar, so like you go there for like lunch, stuff like that. It's not just to get drunk or play darts or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. I do miss going to restaurants. Sorry. I just got like this, moment of, man, I'd love to go to a pub. Anyway.
Leif,
Me
when you get
too.
a chance, could you roll a perception check?
Right there
27.
with you, Tom.
All right. Yeah, you
My
don't
coworkers
notice
and I
anything
today
super
realized,
special.
we'll probably never come back. Buffets.
What do you mean?
No one's ever gonna want to go to
Huh?
a buffet again.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
no,
those will come
super
back.
not.
People are gonna be into it. People always love buffets. They
I
coming
mean,
back.
the thing is, I say this not intending to offend anybody, which is basically the same thing as saying no offense. So I apologize for that. I do sincerely apologize for that. However, people are disgusting. Okay,
They
people
sure
are disgusting.
are.
We as a race are disgusting, and I don't know how I did some things before the pandemic, and I don't know how I'm going to do those same things after the pandemic.
I mean, anybody that's ever worked customer service, like anywhere that people eat food or anything, has seen how gross people are. When I worked for my deli, I had a lady who let her small dog pee on top of one of the tables and didn't tell anyone until later. She didn't ever tell anybody. We
Oh,
found it. It was gross.
Gross.
ugh.
Gross.
Because people are jerks and they bring their dogs that are not service dogs into places and ruin it for everyone else.
Yeah, I love people that try and bring dogs on the boats when they're obviously not service animals. But anyway, so you
this
come
is
to
an
this
odd
bar.
sequitur.
Yeah, you come to this bar, and you're intending to sort of schmooze a little bit. And I actually have a list of rumors for you all to discover.
Nice.
I'd like each of you to roll a d12.
Oh, snap. Jacinto talks to number 3.
4.
12.
Hey, none of us match. Noise.
Nice work, friends. We
Well
enter the
done.
pub and immediately split.
So we got 3, 4, 12. What did Life get? Because I'm pulling
We
up
got a
Looks like a
handy.
7.
7.
7.
7. All right. So Leif. I'm just going to make this visible to all of you. That's fine. These are the rumors that you uncover. I'm showing them to you one by one. And
We all want to read. We could all read
Yes.
our own rumors. That could be fun.
Yeah, everyone read their own rumor.
All right, we're all going to start at the same time. Ready? 3, 2, 1. The meteor showers came early this year. Gonna destroy my. Thanks, Lapis, for committing to the bit. Gosh.
All
I
right,
got
Tom, you're so excited. You take the lead.
All right. The meteor showers came early this year. Gonna destroy my crops if they don't let up soon. Last time it showered this early, this much, we were devastated. That were, what, 40 some years ago? Turned out there were a witch warper behind it all. She were trying to turn us all into zombies or something with all the meteors. I wasn't sure if I should be doing it in a with a twang,
That's
and
so
it started
concerning.
developing over the course. Yeah, over the course of the rumor.
It's just sort of the way it's written, yeah.
Apologies. Yeah. So, pass.
I'll do mine next. Mine's the next lowest number. People been
Alright.
disappearing lately. And not just them who's been going into the deep. I'm talking spacers, travelers, people just staking out claims. My money's on them growls. That family that's got ogre blood in them. And once you get ogre blood in you, you just ain't right. Sorry us.
Continuing to count up, Leif.
We're doing voices, so I gotta do one. The ogres have up on the hook are the cause of all the rain. They done recruited a dragon or something to fly around in the clouds and stir up the meteor showers. Heavens!
My goodness. No one believes me, but that leader of the Black Arrows, Baden's his name. I think he's got something going on over the asteroid field. I've seen him coming and why does this say gain?
Probably because I copied and pasted, and sometimes the PDF substitutes incorrect letters.
Like
He's
this
been
word.
working out.
Then he talks. Coming and gain.
I seen him
and gain.
coming and going from White Willow, and so is my friends. Pretty sure he's up to no good. Nothing friendly lives in the swamps after all.
So that's what you find over the
Man.
afternoon of drinking with these people.
Ava. These swamps are sounding more and more like Ava's type of place.
Nothing friendly lives there.
Pretty much that, and like there's ogres and stuff like that. I think Ava's gonna feel right at home.
Sound pretty dangerous.
Yeah. But that usually means that's probably where we need to go. Just sort of judging from past experiences here.
Suppose so.
Yeah.
So yeah, and seeing as how you're strangers and you're sort of talking to the locals, at some point, I'm sure one of the bartenders will strike up a conversation with you and be like, say something along the lines, like, what you doing here? You're new in town. I see you probably bought a couple rounds for the fellas and the ladies, and so what brings you to our small town?
We're sightseeing.
Sightseeing?
We're on a layover. We're on our way to Lahan, what was the name of that little planet that we were going to? He says, reaching for just any name, because Lahan knows the system. Jacinto's not as familiar with the system.
Yeah, here, I'll roll a culture check. Give me one. It's a 19 plus 2. So I studied the area. Something that sounds believable.
Jack Theon.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, Jack Theon. Yeah, but we just figured we'd stop by here.
Right? I mean, that's a little ways in system. You must have came out of the drift not too far from here.
Yeah, our navigator's not always the best. We got a little off course.
I mean, that happens to the best of us, but I mean, honestly, you couldn't have come at a worse time. There's not a lot to draw folks in here. The paradise it's been scuttled. All hands lost. That was the big draw. We've lost a lot of tourists since that happened.
Well, sounds like it's for the best that we came here then. Sounds like y'all could use a little bit of extra money and we could use some drinks and a place to stay, so that works out for everyone.
We don't have any rooms, but I can direct you on over to the wow, I've already forgotten the name of the place. To the Turtles Parlor. They've got the finest rooms in Turtleback Ferry. The only rooms for rent, honestly, but they're the finest you'll find.
I suppose that is true by definition then.
That's fantastic. I'm sure the lodgings will be more than adequate.
Yeah, no, just might want to get over there. Probably I was gonna say sooner rather than later, but looking around, like the two tourists that are that are still in the bar, they've had rooms for days. I mean, if there's openings, there's gonna be openings. If there's not, you have a ship to sleep on if you need to. Otherwise, I don't know how you got here.
It's just nice
That's
having a real
true.
bed versus sleeping bunks.
Oh yeah, I can appreciate that.
Telepathically,
nothing. You have
Lahan is like shooting you
nice
dirty
rooms.
looks. Beds in the Heartbreaker are real beds.
I did intentionally add your navigating skills too.
Yeah, Lahan is like grumbling in your brain telepathically.
We always forget that Lahan is telepathic.
I never forget.
Yeah.
I use telepathy quite often, usually for exactly this purpose.
Mm.
We'll wander out.
All right. Yeah, let's go get those rooms.
Yeah, all right. You make your way over there, and there are rooms available. Seston is more than like he's totally down to rent you the rooms. Like he's a little bit desperate because again the tourists have dried up. There, I've shared a picture of Seston with you. And
Oh man, can I get him to upgrade me to the nicest room for like no fee? I want his nicest room at the standard rate because he's desperate. Roll with diplomacy.
sure, you could try. Like he'll offer you the rooms, and he's initially like 50 credits a night. Or 50 credits a night. Let's get into a slightly different voice. And that 20 will be quite enough that you can get him down to about 20 credits a night. And you suspect that the lack of tourists has hurt him so much that he just dramatically increased the price in the hopes that someone would just pay it without thinking. So what you in town for other than my fine rooms? And they're perfectly adequate. They're not that fine. They
don't suck, but they're all right.
So Finn's gonna tell him, well, we were navigating to insert the name of the planet we used as a lie earlier. To Jacktheon. We were navigating to Jacktheon and we got a little off course. We needed somewhere to stop and refuel and take a rest before getting back on the trail. This seemed like as good of a place as any.
As good a place as any. My place is the best place around. You should tell all your friends, he says slightly desperately.
Oh yeah, I believe him.
If we had any friends that lived here, we definitely would.
Just tell as many people as you possibly can.
All right, man. It's cool.
So, what happened to that ship? We're over at the bar and we heard that a pleasure cruise or something went down. How many folks were on that?
There was actually, several dozen, probably close to like 50 guests, plus the crew of the ship. No one the town's sensors picked up signs of something bad happening. Like there was an energy spike, and we caught some debris spraying through the lake to the south. But all signs point to everyone's dead because we have not found survivors.
And who's been out looking for survivors? Does this town have any sort of police force, or?
We kind of fall under the protection of the Black Arrows. They do most of that. As soon as something was detected, we had some locals, some fishermen, and wow, you want to know what's wild? Fishing in space. Some fishermen went to try and help, but their boats were not. No, they were. I got some void fish. There's some void fish.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm in love with Dave's cat.
There are space sharks and things. So yeah.
Umas.
Yeah. So
those are starship.
They went out to try and offer assistance, but no one picked up on the radio. They didn't detect any shuttles, and it was in a snarly mess of rocks out in the lake that they couldn't risk their own ships. So we forwarded the info to the Black Arrows. We haven't seen them or heard from the Black Arrows in weeks at this point. It's not very. That's not normal. But so that's last I heard. I'm drawing a blank on the name again. The Malin, Priest Malin, sent a request to Magnimar of all places, because we're not hearing anything from the Black Arrows, and they're responsible for us.
Black Arrows? I've never heard of that before. What are Black Arrows? I just want to hear him somewhere.
Yeah, the privateers. They have a contract with Magnimar. They're supposed to help protect the area from space pirates. There's a lot of ogres out in those asteroid fields. They don't like to build so much. They like to prey on those that do. Their job's to keep folks like us safe.
Ogres in space swamps, huh?
I heard something about them ogres over at the bar.
Yeah. I mean, with the Black Arrows being around for as long as they have, they aren't a ever-present looming threat, but they're something that we know that we have to be aware of.
Do you know what it might mean by a family having ogre blood in them? Do the ogres crossbreed with other races, or?
On occasion. On occasion. The offspring don't come out too right.
Curious. Well, we better check our rooms out.
Sure, yeah. And they're perfectly adequate average rooms, as average could be.
We're at the Space Holiday Inn.
Aggressively average.
Yeah, they're aggressively average. Yeah, Space Holiday Inn or Space... Yeah.
Motel 8.
Yeah.
Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn, Spotel 8.
Is there a Space Gutenberg Bible in the drawer? A Sputenberg Bible, if you will?
Seeing as how there is a very large church of temple to Talavet in town, there is a Sputenberg edition of the tenets of Talavet.
I miss having a cat.
Something. Sharing and collecting stories.
Tradition, culture, community.
Exactly. Talavet. Yeah. So we go up to the rooms. They're perfectly aggressively average. And then it's probably like dinner time now, maybe?
Yeah, dinner.
All right.
You can get some aggressively
maybe...
average dinner at the inn, or you could probably get much better dinner at Bottoms Up.
Okay.
At some point.
And you get the really, really crappy continental breakfast at the inn. like where it's self-serve everything and it's just like it's like a Tostitos salsa cup, and then there's like liquid scrambled eggs that have been made for you, and they have like a waffle maker out there and crappy waffle mix that's pre-mixed.
Well, I guess we could eat here. This guy seems like he really needs the business. Yeah. Hearing no objections. What was that, Finn? I talked over you. Oh no, it's something's wrong with your mic.
Oh no!
There, I can hear you now.
That did it.
Hi.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
about if we go over
remember.
to Bottoms Up instead?
It did look better over there.
It's kind of dead over here, depressing. I say quietly.
Every once in a while, like if you're not in your room, you'll look out of the corner of your eye and you'll just see him like peeking at you and then sliding out of the line of sight, just looking super hopeful.
The meme of those two from The Office. We just shared this meme where it was a Valheim themed meme where like he's like standing there and then all of a sudden she appears behind him. He's like, Pronk.
Yes.
Same. It's the
like he's trying real hard, but his hardest is aggressively average.
No, we need to
big
go to
mood,
Bottoms Up.
buddy.
I'm done with this guy.
Frankly, I'm a little worried about the food.
Because he's like a little bit less creepy, but he's kind of reminded me of Alden, and I don't appreciate that.
He's not trying to. He's very, very much not trying to seduce any of you, though.
He might be trying to do it in an aggressively average way. You never do know. The halflings seem safe.
Yeah, dude, you go get dinner. You have a great dinner if you go next door. You have a very average dinner if you eat here.
We'll go to Bottoms Up.
You go to Bottoms Up. You have a great night. The halfling couple that runs the place, they're great. The locals are a little bit standoffish, but I'm sure you buy a couple rounds and then they warm up to you. They start telling you stories, and if you want, you can roll d12s again to get some more rumors.
I want more rumors. Give me the rumors.
I do so want.
Sure.
I got a 12.
We've already done 12. You gotta reroll.
I don't want to reroll. I got a 12.
Yeah, pretty sure that just means you hear the same rumor again.
Yeah. 12, 12, 3, and 9.
I got a new one.
We don't have 9 yet.
Yep. All right. So you get you get those previous rumors, and you're like, oh yeah, I heard that, and then you get this one right here.
Paradise sunk. Sunk. It's a tragedy, I'll agree. But know what? Good riddance, I say. I know it ain't nice to wish ill on no one, but I hope that strumpet Lucretia's went down with her ship as well. Tarting around town with her chest all pushed out and flashing leg with every other step. That type of walk might go over well down in Corvosa, but we're respectable folk here. Wouldn't be surprised to find out Paradise was lost on account of her bringing down Talavet's judgment on the whole sinful lot of them.
Nice.
Gross.
Right?
We've seen that name before, friends.
What, Corvosa?
Lucretia.
Oh, Lucretia. Yeah. Corvosa's ringing a bell in my head, which is killing me because I didn't play Pathfinder 1.
Because we've been
heard.
playing the Curse of the Crimson Throne adventure card path.
That's it.
Corvosa.
Thank you. Yep. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So, Lucretia, can we ask who Lucretia was? Was she the owner of the Paradise?
Sounds
Yeah,
like
that's what that rumor was implying. She was the owner, and if you do ask, they'll clarify that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah, and then you have a relatively good evening. Is there anything in specific you want to do before we roll to the next day?
At some point, Lahan wants to ask Finn why he's lying to everyone.
Wait, Jacinta started it.
I did start it.
Jacinta,
I did start that.
Why are we lying to everybody about why we're here?
figured Jacinto had a good reason. I was rolling with it.
Like when we have a quiet
Thanks,
moment.
Finn. Oh yeah. Well, I thought that if we were here investigating the cult, they might have heard of our activity in the city. So if they hear these 4 strangers roll into town, best to throw off the scent, maybe? I don't know.
I suppose. But
I mean, you can't really hurt anything.
I'm with Jacinto on this one. I think this is a good idea.
well,
We do need
I mean,
to track down the
people are going to start to suspect when we ask for directions out of town.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
But at the very least, we'll have gotten a head start. We'll have gathered our information before, playing our hand, so to speak.
Or
I
you
mean,
can
I
just
know we'll
dig
need
deeper
directions.
and just add to the lie.
I thought we'll need directions. You're pretty good at navigating, and I mean,
Yes,
That's true.
when we go
I'm a
out to
big game hunter. Me, Jacinto.
Well, it does sound like the cult here has already been dealt with.
we need to figure
Somehow.
out what's going on with the protectors of this place. Need to make it out to their fortress.
Yeah.
So you said, Lahan, that we had heard the name Lucretia before. Would you jog my memory on that?
Yeah, that's Zanisha's sister. It's the one that this letter was to. Like, pulls up the letter and sends it to everybody's comms.
That's right.
That was the part of
Wilder.
the cult we were looking for, it sounds like. And she did say she was
Yeah.
cultivating souls. She was probably using this paradise to do it.
Mhm.
Maybe we should go try to find the wreckage.
That's a possible point, yeah. So sounds like we should find the wreckage, and we should also look into the Black Arrow.
And if
'Cause
anybody asks
they've
what we're
gone
up
right
to,
away.
we can tell them that we were going to Jack's. I keep forgetting the name of that dang planet.
Jack Theon.
That we go to Jack Theon because we're treasure hunters. And we want to find that.
Yeah,
ship to
just like the
harvest treasure.
holobids.
Yes, exactly. We can keep this lie going.
Yeah.
It's no problem.
Alright, if you two say so.
Jacinto gets a tiny little fedora and a whip.
Finn is going to
no.
corrupt Jacinto. He's just going to start lying about everything. I'm corrupting the diplomacy character into a bluff character.
Don't worry about you
Actually,
two.
Yeah. Jacinto's got great bluff, actually. He just never needs it because Finn is the liar, and also I only just recently got it, actually, because
So
of
many
the feat
points
that
to
I've never
spend.
gotten the chance to use. I have a lot of skill ranks, yeah, and mystics are surprisingly good at facey skills. Anyway,
Yep.
No, I like our Playboy zombie
So-
based team. It makes me happy.
yeah, it's good stuff.
All right.
Um,
So yeah.
And then you have a nerd
there's
and a death
nothing
machine.
else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Redeemed
How is the death machine, by the way? Yeah, ex death machine. She's still pretty death machine, but how is she like at dinner tonight, Leif? Is she
She's withdrawn, very keeps to herself for most of it. Doesn't really engage in the conversation much.
I feel
fair.
like would Ava go play darts? Because that seems right up Ava's alley.
You'd think it would be, but not tonight. No, she's kind of
yeah, that's fair.
sitting sort of to herself, as far to herself as she can be.
Any more
You're right,
stable and
Bud
consistent
Stubble.
Death machine. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So with that, the evening passes. It is the following morning, and I assume you're going to do at least a little walking around town, but on your way to accomplish whatever goal you set for yourself. And in so doing, I would like everyone to roll perception checks again.
Oh, Lahan sleeps on the
This is my
ship,
chance.
for the record.
Okay, to make a point, because they're real beds.
She doesn't want to sleep in the average hotel.
You're sleeping
She
on
has
the
a
ship?
very nice hammock on the ship, thank you. It is warm
Okay.
and cozy. And she likes it there.
Oh wow.
It's got all her stuff.
Oh wow.
It's got all her
Alright.
stuff.
You narrowly make this, Jacinto.
Yeah, boy.
Yes.
As you're walking
Go, play,
around,
go.
you start to notice every once in a while, like someone like the cuff of someone's pants will creep up and there'll be like a Sahedron star tattooed to their ankle. Or someone
Oh.
will bend over and there's a Sahedron like
Tramp stamp?
tattooed across their lower back.
Tramp stamp. Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
Lord
or
Lapis.
like a sleeve will pop up and it's on the inside of the wrist. You
Yes.
start noticing them here and there.
The classic cultist tramp stamp.
Yeah, you just start noticing them here and
passage.
there. Yeah, what would you do after you've noticed? Like, obviously, it'd be a surprise after you seeing one, but then if you start noticing more and more,
Do they look like tattoos? Or like they're carved in?
they're tattoos.
Suspicious.
Is there a tattoo
Very.
parlor in town?
No.
I'm sure there has to be, but
Oh, well, maybe, I suppose. But we didn't find one.
There
Yeah.
is, but the door appears to just be part of the wall texture. You can't actually get in at all.
I
Yeah,
mean, you want
gotta know
want to
people.
go to a tattoo parlor. I'll make up an NPC on the fly.
Imagine
Jacinto's not
tattoos.
into. No.
There's a space goblin
Um,
stick and poke parlor, is what there is.
I guess Jacinto
Yeah, his
points it
name
out to
is
everybody
Whitman.
and says, well, that's weird. There sure are an awful lot of, and he like, cups his mouth, Sahedron tattoos, around this town. What do we make of that?
That might be what she meant when she said that carving them in is crude in the letter.
Could be.
I'm not
True.
sure what it means, but that's definitely a sign of cult activity. What do you make of this?
I don't know. You're the expert on the cult.
See, it's gotten all weird. It's definitely not the way it used to be. All of this new stuff is a little over my head. Hard to piece together and make sense of. I definitely do think we need to go find that ship.
How are we?
Once we
Yeah.
find more pieces of this puzzle, it'll all start coming together. I'm sure.
Do we
So
know
where did
where?
they say that ship went down?
Yeah, do we know where the
What was
wreckage is, Jet?
It's out in the lake. You could get the exact coordinates. You probably have to talk to Malin. They're the closest thing to a mayor this town has.
Okay. And getting out to that lake would require like a small ship, correct?
A
Something
smaller ship. Yeah. Actually, no, sorry.
Okay, then.
I flip-flop things. Going into the skull field requires a smaller ship. The lake, you could probably just take the Heartbreaker.
Can we get there with the Heartbreaker though?
Yeah, I mean, the Heartbreaker's a spaceship. I don't imagine it's going to have a lot of problem moving through water suspended in the void of space.
Oh no, I just mainly worried because like the asteroid field and whatnot. I remember saying on like a
Oh.
road and you had to have a
Yeah.
small ship to do it.
There's sort of a river coming off and away from the lake, and if you were to follow the river, that's where it goes into like the denser part of the field.
Okay.
But the lake itself it's sort of like the paradise used to go out on the lake, like travel through the lake and whatnot for the dinner cruises.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you think you would actually confront anyone wearing one of these tattoos?
I mean, we could do the old classic cringy, like, oh my God, I love your tattoo. Where did you get it? I want one. But I mean, Jacinto's too. I don't think anybody's gonna buy that coming from Jacinto.
Then
I
try
mean,
it.
I would say, like, maybe if I notice any while we're doing dinner and drinking tonight, I will ask them about it. Because booze loosens lips, and that seems like a good time to be talking to people about their tattoos.
Yeah, like once Jacinto sees it, and then he points it out, he starts seeing it again here and there. Like if
Okay.
you guys were to stop for you could probably go into bottoms up and be like, hey, let's scope the place out, and you would start noticing a couple people in the bar have it as well.
No, I think I'm gonna try to do that after we find the ship. When it's later on dinner time. That way I can have people be lubricated by booze.
Fair. All right. I honestly didn't expect you guys to latch on to the paradise so hard, so I didn't prep anything for the paradise. We've got a half hour left. Is there anything you want to do around town? Do you want to go rumor hunting or anything like that?
You don't ask me about their tattoos.
Learn anything
We'll go
about
find
Fort Rannoch?
We'll go find Heartbreaker, not the Heartbreaker, but the Paradise tomorrow.
Appreciate it. Sorry.
I'd rather you prep it.
Oh
That'd be
no,
good.
please. No problem.
I fully expect you guys to be more interested in Fort Rannoch, so I prepped in that direction.
I mean, you told us there was a boat with blackjack and hookers.
I understand. I
Mm.
just didn't expect you to go that direction. The players will always do the thing that the GM least expects.
Like, I mean, I should have expected this on Sunday, but like requesting a galactic trading outing.
Or wondering if we could just abscond with a cargo of munitions because we don't support the local government.
Yeah, that's probably fine.
Totally fine.
What do you want us to do to rumor hunt some more?
I mean, you can just say that you're going to rumor hunt, and you guys can roll your d12s.
I swear to goodness, every time I look at bot actions, one of you has permitted something. And I'm like, should we really? Okay, well, someone hit the button.
I looked
I
at
did.
it and I considered it. I already have a black mark on my record as it is.
Yeah, because
So,
you allowed ball sack.
I did allow ballsack, didn't I?
I let it in because it's a parody of a Futurama reference.
Now Jet has
Yeah,
hookers.
yeah.
Jet allows hookers. Okay. Come on to all of you. We get one bad word a show. We're PG-13.
Hookers isn't even a bad word.
Yeah, I don't even think that.
No,
No, I don't think either of those
that,
count.
That
I
they
think
were talking about.
I don't think either of those count against PG-13, so I think you're still okay.
All right, so it looks
Man,
like
Nathan was trying to knock me out.
it looks
He
like
did
Lapis
knock you
rolled.
out.
Looks like Lapis rolled a 4 and learned once more about the Grolls and their ogre blood. Does anyone else want some more rumors?
You know I do, but I get the same one. I got.
I might as well roll.
Follow.
See if I can get a new one.
Ooh, I think 1 is new, and I think 10 is new.
Yeah.
1 and 10 are new. That is 1.
Yeah, you get to do another voice.
There you go.
Oh
1 and
boy, oh
10.
boy.
Leif's excited. Leif can go first.
All right. The Stovall Cloud doesn't stay in space. Tunnels connected to the various land masses, and she comes down here to eat spacers now and then. I'm sure that's what happened to the paradise. Black Maga came and gobbled up all those filthy sinners.
That was my favorite, Leif.
That was
Well
a great
done.
voice.
Yeah.
10 says, so I noticed my uncle had a weird star-shaped tattoo on his shoulder the other day. I asked him about it and he got all angry and told me to mind my own. Thing is though, that ain't the first time I seen that kind of tattoo. Lots of folks got 'em here. They hide 'em good though. you keep an eye out, you'll see one on an ankle or an arm or a back here and there. Sure enough, I don't got one though, I tell you. Tattoos is sinful business.
Jacinto desperately searches for more rumors because I want to do a voice.
Okay.
You got mine.
Can I ask a follow-up on the Grolls and the Ogre blood?
Yes, you can.
I want to know, like, if the ogre lives with him, like, do they get married or something? Like, how do they, like, is this ogre in the community? I'm curious about this.
We don't have any ogres in our community. Every ogre that we've been exposed to has been very violent and aggressive and trying to kill us and steal from us.
So is the ogre the mother or the father in this case?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't gotten up and close and asked them. We've seen the Grolls every once in a blue moon. One of them will try and come to town. It's not great. They're not right. They don't look right. They don't act right.
Where do these Grolls live?
They live upriver. You got to follow the nav beacons a ways. They're maybe 100 miles from. Wow, I'm drawing a blank on the thing. I apologize. I have it here. Wow. They're about 100 miles from Skull's Crossing. And if you ask about Skull's Crossing, yeah, it was here before we were. It's why we can be here at all. It sort of acts as it creates a barrier and protects us from the worst of the meteors. Every once in a while, like seasonally, we'll get some light meteor showers. That's how we get access, but if Skull's Crossing wasn't here, this place would just be a devastated ruin.
Oh. That's all good to know. Thank you for the information. I'm gonna go hunt some more rumors.
Well, if you guys are going to aggressively hunt rumors, I will give you the remaining rumors.
Yeah, we're not missing that many.
Because I got another pronking
We're missing
9.
2,
I think 11's new.
5, 6, 8, and 11.
Yeah, I'll give them to you because you guys just seem so enamored with these rumors. It's great. I appreciate your guys' enthusiasm. So,
All right, Tom, read this one.
All right. It's been a week since we've had a visit from the Black Arrows. I'll be the first to admit they're not a friendly lot, but they do a good job keeping the ogres and critters in the area under control. Hope nothing has happened to them.
all right, here's the next one.
That was a little old lady goblin.
Ah.
This is number 5.
Somebody read this one.
I got 11, so somebody else can do this one. Nick, you haven't known in a while.
Let somebody who wants to do a voice do it. Leif,
I can do another voice if requested.
do another
Do it.
voice.
Okay. Bunch of spacers from Pendaka got themselves eaten by Pink Eye, the Void Gar, a week ago. Serves the fools right for tangling with a fish bigger than a ship.
Yeah.
Here's number 6.
All right, I'll do number 6. Heard a few months ago, before all these rains started. No, I can't. Sorry.
No, you started. Now you gotta finish.
That was beautiful. Do it.
Some of the folks who braved the cloud of broken trees for Spacebore found a bunch of enormous footprints. Giant-sized footprints. It's bad enough we've got ogres, but if a giant's moved into the cloud, I sure hope the Black Arrows take care of it soon.
Fantastic. I loved it.
Beautiful. Very well done.
And here's number 8.
Leif, do another voice.
Yes.
Oh, geez, I'm running out of voices, guys. Come on.
Do a girl voice. Do a girl voice for us.
Do a what?
Do a girly voice for us.
You can't force these things. They gotta come organically, like
Oh.
voices from the voice vine.
Hi. I want a high-pitched voice. That's all I want, Leif.
Oh, right. Hold on. Let me pull that one out. God, how did I do that? How did I voiced literally every villager in a Call of Cthulhu game the exact same way?
While they're thinking of that, Buttstubble, thank you so much for the Nat 20. This is the first Nat 20 we've seen in like 3 months.
Oh,
Very
up to the
exciting.
prices.
That is all mine.
Can we roll it over to next week?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I hope so.
Yeah, I'll leave it there for
There's
Tom.
also-
Tom earned it.
I think there's also a +1. I have no problem letting
Thank
those
you.
roll over because this is very RP heavy little dice rolls.
And plus, they're so
Yeah.
expensive now.
They're worth it. They're precious.
They are. But it makes it even sadder if we don't get to
And
see-
Shades did give you a reroll as well. Jet.
Indeed.
No, nice.
All
I
right,
will,
Leif, you
I
got
will
that
share
voice.
that amongst the crew.
I got a voice.
Whip it out.
Been some weird lights out by the shimmer glands lately. They don't show up all the time, but now and then you can see them in the early dawn hours. Maving round like they was a bunch of people over there carrying round lanterns and dancing and stuff. Place is haunted, I tells ya.
And the final rumor.
Yeah, this one's mine.
All right, Lapis, give it to us.
The dam up north, between the Stormal Cloud and the Skullfield, is haunted by those who have breathed vacuum hereabouts. The skulls on the dam let the ghosts watch you when you approach. Huh.
The dam being Skull's Crossing, the barrier that protects the area.
Mm.
If you want to do a high-pitched voice, you gotta do it yourself.
Guess so.
That's all the rumors. You guys were so excited to do the voices, and I loved every one of them.
I don't do voices because
Voices are fun.
I get stuck, and I will not. It'll take me forever to shake it. So don't. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Kind of like when I fall into Hive Doll.
No,
hard
no,
time.
worse.
Oh
I-
no!
I'll
No, I
get
really
stuck-
want to hear Nick do voices though.
No, I get stuck for like hours. I can't
Man.
stop once I start. It's really bad.
This isn't making me want it any less. I'm sorry.
So, while we're drinking and talking to people, I also want to look around the bar and see if I notice any hidden tattoos on anybody in there.
If you look around actively for it, especially with Jacinto helping you, you will notice like 1 or 2, like I said. Once you noticed one and you started looking hard for him, you started seeing like, 1 in 5 or 1 in 4 people has one.
So describe some people with tattoos in this bar. I'm gonna pick one to go bother.
Oh, okay. There's a contemplative drinking in the corner with a book with a data pad displaying some sort of poetry. And they have a tattoo on one of their lobes, like
Okay.
kind of tucked into one of their lobes. There's an orc with one of those tattoos, but it's hidden in all of their other tattoos, but you've managed to pick it out.
Okay.
And they're sort of carousing, probably throwing darts. And there's a drow individual, and their tattoo is black ink on black, like genuinely black skin. So you basically had to wait for the light to hit just right, and then you just noticed it. And they actually weren't like hiding it under clothing; it was like straight on their shoulder, and they were wearing a sleeveless shirt or something.
It just blends well.
Yeah, it
Like-
blended well, but then the light hit it right, and then the ink was like matte to their slightly glossy skin.
Like white ink tattoo on light skinned
Alright.
people.
I'm gonna go bother that the brain guy over in the corner? Because he seems like he's the squishiest.
How do giant brains drink? By the way,
Well,
I would like a description.
They do have like vestigial limbs and like
Yeah, they do have a
underdeveloped
humanoid
faces.
body. It's just a
So they probably
really
have a
big brain.
tiny little mouth under their brain.
Yeah, they probably have to drink with like a straw, and most of their food is
Tiny
liquid.
little straw.
He opens up to the contemplative page.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
they
if you
were
look at their art,
like opened up halfway. Like
They wear a
giant
mask
head.
over their vestigial face almost, I think.
I don't think you can even see their
Yeah,
vestigial face
uh,
under their brain. Not really.
their
We don't-
art
we don't need to
has
get
like
drawn into
their
this.
art has a body.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So you go over to him, and what do you say to him? You don't think they're focusing on you. They're sort of, their brain is pointed at their data pad.
Oh, yeah. Hello. Mind if I sit next to you and order you a drink? What you drinking?
Protein slurry
Oh, let me get you another one. Yeah.
with a splash of alcohol.
I set my mug down. Fantastic. I walk over to the bar, I order a protein slurry with a splash of alcohol. I slide the mug over there and I sit down on the table next to him. So, you from around here or are you a visitor? Are you a traveler like me?
I'm from around here, but when I reach majority, I am so gone.
So, Finn was going to attempt to be smooth. He only got 10 out of diplomacy, so it's not going to come out super smooth. Well, that's going to be a shame for the town to lose such a beauty when you do choose to leave. And such an educated beauty as well.
I appreciate the sentiments, but I do not reciprocate your feelings.
Ah. Oh, at least you've let me down gently. I suppose I'll get over this heartbreak someday. Although, you know.
I've had so much practice doing it. People just seem to be drawn to me.
Well, I can understand why.
Look at my folds, my luscious folds.
Actually, looking at those folds, I noticed you've got some ink. What is that?
And they'll like awkwardly like turn their brain a little bit, like turn their head. Their folds will like throb and pulse and hopefully try and hide it.
Lewd?
What is that?
It's none of your business, is what it is.
And if you actually want to get them to share anything about it, I'm going to need you to change their attitude. Yep.
Okay.
They are currently
know.
unfriendly.
I'm trying to intimidate on them.
Oh, you're going to try and intimidate.
That
That's not
that
gonna do
does
it
not
now?
mechanically change attitudes.
Okay.
Oh, it does.
It doesn't, but
it
it
just
does.
Yeah, so
Oh,
change
does it?
temporarily, and then they'll go
It-
way in another direction later.
Yeah, temporarily, like if you're intimidating them to get specific information, if you succeed, they will give you that information, but then shortly thereafter, their attitude will shift to like hostile and they will hate your guts.
Okay.
yeah.
I
It doesn't
apologize.
work. It just doesn't work long term.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
fine.
So you can try and intimidate this out of them.
32 intimidate.
You super intimidate. Yeah.
His brain
They're
is
just
gonna come try
unfriendly.
and hunt us down.
So neutral. So you took them to. Yeah, no, you succeed. Intimidate does work slightly differently than diplomacy. Yeah, you succeed. He's like,
Fine. I'm hiding it from my parents. I don't want them to know. I was going to the paradise and spending time there. You get discounts. Lucretia gives you like a 20% discount if you let them put this tattoo on you.
Excellent. You live to read poetry another day.
Well,
That man.
Lucretia gave you a 20% discount. She went down with her ship. Is my understanding.
Interesting. See, that wasn't so hard. Now you can live to read poetry another day. I stand up, I heard that, my friends. So, I found out some information. Oh, yeah. Seduced it out of that big old brain gal over there.
Yeah. Jacinto
Brain
rolls a
person.
sense motive.
Brain person.
And Jacinto doesn't believe Finn.
You totally know I was not doing seducing. I was seducing. I
And
super failed
I,
to seduce.
I think that's where we're going to pause for the week. We're going to pause with Jacinto listening to what Finn says and then squinting at them suggestively, like, I don't believe you.
That's seducing. Super failed my seduce.
Yeah.
All right. So another RP heavy episode, light dice rolls. I hope you guys were okay with that and enjoyed it.
I like
This
them.
is very much like early days of Sandpoint, where we were walking around and creating flower shops that were steel lattice works and crystal windows. And
Indeed.
yeah. So Tom, what do we got coming up this Sunday?
So this Sunday, our working stiffs are going to be continuing with their gun running career. We'll see where that gun running career takes them. But of course, first they have to recover from a very lethal fight with some hobhounds. But they'll be level 2, so that's exciting, right, guys? Right?
It is exciting.
Yeah.
It
We
is
have
super
twice as
exciting.
many hit points.
Yeah.
I'm immortal
Twice as many-
now.
You have
I
become
will
twice
never
as
die.
sturdy. Yeah. You're gonna live forever, Jet. Gus, I don't know, but no. So yeah, that's what's coming this Sunday. They're gonna keep going with their gun running, and we'll see where the winds take them after that.
Awesome. Leif, who gave us the wonderful music today?
Oh
yeah,
no.
somebody that we've credited in the past.
Need to credit again.
All right.
Quickly, find it.
I'm pulling
And
it
there
up.
were-
Hey, talk about something else.
We'll talk about something else while Leif looks that up. Next week, I guess I'm preparing for the group to go to the paradise, and I know
we're
I
very
know
interested.
that Shades mentioned that water and vacuum are two distinctly different things, but I'm okay with us going this route. It's
And also, we
it's a
have armor
switching station on the
protections.
tracks.
We have environmental protections on our armor, which last for a week now, plus, depending on the level of your armor. So, environmental protections are basically our armor is like diving suits.
Yeah,
So
It's true.
yeah, 100%.
even if the ship didn't work, is what I'm getting at. Sorry, my brain is foggy right now.
Yeah,
Long
no,
day.
I get it. I 100% understand. So next week we'll probably be going to the paradise. Don't know how long that'll take, but yeah, that'll happen. Thank you all for playing. Super appreciate it. 100% thank you, Shades. I very much appreciate the birthday presents.
It's very, very cool. I love
very,
little
very
Scooter.
cool. Scooter, the Skittermander.
Thank you, YouTube Audio Library, for the music.
Yes.
Nice. And I think that other than saying you can hit us up on Discord or nonsenseinteraction@gmail.com, the Discord link is below if you're watching on Twitch. And I think we could say goodbye, everybody, but we will be hanging out in general, correct?
And you guys will. I gotta eat dinner, unfortunately.
Yes.
And we will be hanging out in general, I think, but Nick has something to say first.
Yes.
Don't forget, credit to Paizo for all our lovely assets. Jet has wonderfully edited many of them. But for, writing and publishing this, the original AP, making it available
Yes.
for all of us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paizo. I'm having a blast with this product. In case you can't tell, I mean, Sahedron medallion, Starfinder shirt.
Yeah.
Something about
What,
it.
you like Starfinder, Jet?
What?
No, not at all. But on that note, let's say bye to everybody.
Bye to
Bye,
everybody.
Everybody.
All right.
Bye.
Nick, let's get out of here.